Y'all know they had the autopsy for Nolan Wales. Um, if anybody caught it, who you think did it? Was it his friends or was it at the behest of his own hands? What y'all think, man? I'm gonna tell you this: it's too much going on to not be looking at. Maybe it was some foul play because if it was cut and dry, it would be cut and dry. But that's what we politicking about today. What y'all got going on? That have y'all been keeping up on Trump, man? Dude be bugging. And I'm hearing that the United States may be out of funding, missiles, all kind of shit. Because I see that they begging for goddamn a couple of a billion right now to keep on this war. But who even voted for that war? Why would even entertain it to give Trump and the warmongers any more money on the war shit? Because number one, shit, now shit, we didn't ask for this war, but he has thrust us in it. What's so crazy? Trump has thrust us in his war. You know what I'm saying? And now we footing the bill. Who asked for this shit? Did any of y'all vote for war? Cause I know I didn't. Let me see. Yeah, they said in Nolan Wales situation, um, if I was getting the correct information, they said when they returned his body, they forgot his throat. What do y'all think? Was that on purpose? When they returned the young man's body, when they did the independent, they hit his throat like, huh? Anunnaki, Anunnaki, peace, 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 Nanu Nanu Shashbat. What's going on, Anunnaki? What's up with you, fam? What you think about them? With the some what was the thing with the young boy throat? The young boy that just got autopsy, and his family was finally able to lay him to rest too. That's crazy. I bet you last year none of these people would have thought they would have been caught up in so much controversy dealing with America. Nolan Wales, Carmelo Anthony, any of those guys. It's like y'all see the, you know what I mean, the pattern is not a color right now. It's just they're have our youth engaging with each other. It's always on some, you know what I mean. I don't even think they put stuff on TV now that when people are doing good and shit. I don't even never. I don't even think they do shit like that no more. They when people are doing good and prosperous. Can you name three reasons why you vote for why you vote for Trump? Well, you know, when he was running for office, did you vote for Trump? Chilling. What's Gucci? Ain't nothing. Just chilling, cooling out. Just cooling. What you got going on, Mud Butter? That name every time. Where's your Mud? I'm chilling, fam. Just cooling out. Politicking a little bit. You know how I go. It's fluctuating too, y'all. Let's get them likes up. Mud Butter. You know we got the BMC Investor back popping. Make sure you get over there and get you a BMC Investor. And everybody else that come through here, make sure y'all get over there and even just support the channel. Turn on the notifications so when we have these dope conversations, you can get over here and conversate. What's good? But yeah, this shit is crazy that's going on. Where they say, what y'all think about us? With the United States out of gas. You say you're guilty for being gullible. Wow. Okay. L says, no new wars. Two to get rid of the deep state donor class. 3, reshore manufacturer. Guess I'm gullible idiot. Right. Because he didn't do none of that. That's crazy that he didn't do 1/3 of those 3 things. No new wars. Nope. Get rid of the deep state donor class. He's a member of it. Nope. Um, reshore manufacturing. Nope. Our job ain't. I ain't seen nobody get hired from a Trump stimulus, business stimulus yet. He ain't did shit. Shame on you. The choice is yours. He didn't pull your arm behind your back and make you buy that MAGA hat. I mean, it is what it is, though. And I'm not going against Donald Trump. I'm just saying I don't agree with the stuff that he's doing. I think he's taking us in the wrong direction. We supposed to be making America great again. We making the world hate. And that's what's so crazy. Making the world hate. That shit is crazy. 6 of y'all in here, man. Let's get them likes up, man. Let's get them likes up. Yep, but you know what? If you leave it up to him, he'll be permanent. If you leave it up to him and his peoples, he will be permanent. Because I keep stressing this. We don't need any democratic socialists, and Trump is not the president right now. That's his secondary position. He's the commander-in-chief right now, so he's on military missions. He's on military time. L says, fool me twice. Well, yeah, you can't get fooled again. Bush was brilliant at manipulation, pretended to be a Texan, even though he was born and raised in Connecticut. Which Bush born and raised in Texas? I ain't never heard nobody say that. I like that. Which Bush? Was it George Bush Sr.? He was raised in Connecticut. Americans won't let that happen. Shut down elections. People gonna mud butter. They're not gonna rise up. Only time they'll rise up if they close down Starbucks now, or a bunch of Teslas go out. They're not gonna rise up. Right. That's why you gotta understand is if people was a revolt and all this stuff, why did this dude get 4 more years? It just makes no sense. Oh yeah, I did not know that. You couldn't tell, but you know what? It's his son, George Bush Jr. and them that act like they cowboys. George Bush Sr. act like a straight fed to me. I didn't see the cowboy in him. I would go for he was from Connecticut. He act like a straight fed, like he on bullshit. To me, Democrats and and so are the Republicans. But what's this push that would y'all say we on the push for no new Americans? Because if they got all the visas and everything, he shut down. So what's that? Is a push no new Americans and but what about the old ones? Okay, they got a huge estate on the coast of Maine. Mitt Romney. What state was Mitt Romney representing? Because you know Mitt Romney also was like Mexican. Yeah, he was the director of the CIA. Yeah, I know he was. That's what I'm saying. That's why he always seemed like fed. You don't seem like no Texan. He seemed like fed. Like your grandfather that you be like, what did your granddaddy do? I don't know. You know what I mean? That dude. I see when he had the World Cup, he didn't want to give it up. Trump, man, COVID wasn't much of a reason to rise up. What you gonna rise up and get out and get sick? Man, COVID was they was testing the new world order, dude. They was testing the new world order. They was seeing can they shut the world down. You notice that when they instituted that you can't be outside, the world was shut down. All the 24-hour stores shut down. People going to literally to the store on a regular day. Everybody shut down and they started instituting DoorDash and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The rise of the, you know what I mean, DoorDash economy, Lyft, Uber, allowing people to mass up now. You know what I mean? That stuff was like a fire drill to me. Like they were just trying to figure out because you can't make something pop or get a proper hold of it if you ain't never did it. Just like fighting a fire. That's why schools have fire drills. Motherfucker ain't gonna know what to do. So I think even with the PPP loans, I think all of it was just a test. We're gonna throw some money and see will these people take care of themselves on all aspects of it. You know what I mean? The mental, the health, you know what I mean? And even with the monetary. Why did I allow him to do it? Because do what thou wilt. You know what I mean? Do what thou wilt. That's how I feel about it. Just know, when you bake that cake, you're gonna have to eat a slice. You feel me? That's all I say. Do what thou wilt. I'm pretty sure he knew the consequences for his acts. Whether he was ready to stand on them, I don't know. But you know what I mean? I worked every day during COVID. I delivered appliances. Never got sick. Never got a jab. And out of 16 homes a day. Wow. You might have been the carrier, Anunnaki. You might have been the police. You know what I mean? You might have been the carrier. George Floyd was a site. Yeah, George Floyd sucks, man. I don't even get involved in stuff like that, man. That's anything that they show you on big screen TV and got everybody engaging. Believe me, it's a motherfucking, I mean, a PBS function, man. Public broadcasting. Believe it, fam. That's why I don't even trouble myself with stuff like the George Floyd said. Because all that shit be, because people die every day with real problems and real police brutality, but we was running behind George Floyd. I just didn't understand it. As I mean, but then you know what? I didn't know any of my peoples that was going out there with the George Floyd short, so they probably even was paid protesters to create that George Floyd illusion. Because I don't know nobody that was going out protesting for George Floyd. And they probably wrote down everybody that said something negative against the government during the George Floyd shit. They probably wrote down your name. Just like people don't know when they come in and say a bunch of racist stuff, that the powers that be looking at your digital footprint when they need to, don't be caught up around some conflict. They look at your digital footprint. Oh my God, you said this. You know what I'm saying? Then it's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Smash that like, man. Let's get them likes up in this conversation held, man. Nolan Wells, independent autopsy. Was it his privileged friends? Was it his friends, man? I work every day, huh? Yeah, when people bring up stuff like George Floyd, it's sort of like, huh? It's so much more important shit than be worried about, man. No. No one I would work with got sick or took off work. I thought it was all a hoax. I never met or knew someone who got sick. Right? But you just never know. But I mean, whatever was going on, something happened. Something definitely was going on. Whether it was, I mean, something was going on. Smash that like, y'all. The whole point was to create a racial division. So I don't. So we didn't look at the twice ruler. It's all our cup. It's a cup game. I'd be looking at China hard right now because the me is a distraction. I don't know if it was some just designed for racial division, because shit, that shit do itself. That's what America is about. That's, I mean, we built off a racial divide. You know what I mean? That's how they control us. Smash that like, y'all. Share me out. Shout out everybody coming through here. It's 13 of y'all in here, man. Did you vote for Trump? Nolan Wells, autopsy, independent autopsy, outside of the folks. So I heard that his throat was missing, or it's all. Yo, I hope that young boy gets some justice, man, and he just don't go down in conspiracy theory history. They'll never know. You know, or wait till these guys get older. These his friends are like 60 years old, and then they find him guilty or something. You know that happens a lot, man. That shit be crazy. And then they'll take somebody that was innocent and send him away from 16 to 50, and then say, well, you know, he was innocent. Give him some money to shut up. But then I see on the other side of things, some people, they know they did the shit, and they'll give them, what's up, Candy? My brother Black, rah, my friend can't stay back to work. Stop by to give my love and respect. Have a blessed day, my brother. Cannon, salute, family. always, man, that's what it is. Thanks for coming through. Enjoy your day at work, man. Smash that like. Shout out all my vets that come through here that did they service to protect America, man. All my real soldiers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing nothing, Cannon. Just kicking back. Kicking back, cooler. There's four of y'all in here. Sassy Measy, what's going on, Sassy? COVID wasn't a hoax because Central Park was the morgue. Do you know how big Central Park is? And they had a refrigerated trucks lined up in Fifth Avenue with bodies stacked. Ooh, can y'all imagine the people that the older people that didn't have no contact with anybody else and they was just waiting it out or didn't know what was going on? I know that was, I mean, and that's all over America. This shit was crazy. But I believe, Sassy, that Democrats have always divided America. We unite by getting rid of the Democrat commies. Anunnaki, but all the Democrats aren't democratic socialists or communists, shall we say. And you don't think that one time the Republicans separate Americans. It's all just been Democrats. No such thing as a Democrat, exactly, or Republican. Just rich or poor. They tell you to choose a label. And when y'all turned me on to that, neither one of these parties you have to pay into. You know what I mean? Then I knew, I was like, oh yeah, you can be any one of these guys. You don't have to pay into it. I thought it was some Democratic Party pay into where you run around with your little card and hey yo, yada 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 yada. No. You can just say I'm Democrat. I'm Republican. That's crazy. That what makes me wonder, why haven't another party got as much push as the Democrat and Republicans? If there's no set fee or requirements that you can that to join, it just makes no sense, but it makes perfect sense. The organization that is the Republicans and the Democrats at the political level is where you got to pay into it. Once you get elected, then you'll be a paying member into that. Remember the Democrats told you to lie to your husbands and vote for Kamala because they can't tell whether they voting for Kamala or Trump because you're going in the voting poll by yourself. Y'all remember those commercials? The Democrats was on some shit. Wealthy people tell you to choose a label, then pit you against one another while they pick your pockets. Wealthy people are players. Learn to be a player, right? Yep, you got to play the game. And it is what it is. That's what they do. And you also got to be able to take the emotion out of it, because that's what a lot of times kills us, because we'll deal with our emotions on our sleeve and it will, bleed off into our politics and how we treat people, even in may cause us to have racist views when we deal with our emotions instead of the facts, the data, and the analytics. Chillin' Austin Blunt, what's up with you, fam? Austin, you heard about this independent autopsy with Nolan Wells? They say something about his throat missing. Sue from the Bud Files, man. What's up with you? How's the family, Sue? People are out here voting by party instead of credentials. Chilling, Austin. That's chilling. You know how I do. I chills. But that voting by party where people go in and do a whole voting block. No, you should be voting by way whatever that person is supporting, because you know all of them, because they say they're Democrats, all of them are not on the same shit. So why follow all of them if some of them are doing shit that you're not with? I think that's how those ones snuck in with all them crazy rules, like letting weird people go in bathrooms with your kids and men dressed like women in the library with your kids. I did not like that. So I think that's how they got in, by way of when you vote Democrat, they expect you to vote the whole block in. That's how the Democratic Socialists managed to get a foothold in America. under the banner of Democrats, and now they're saying about the roll from under there. They might become the third party. You know what I mean? They might become the third. The third world might get a toehold in, you know what I mean, American politics, because you know that's where the word third world came from. The word third world came from um, 1950s McCarthyism, where on this side was democracy, and on this side was communists, socialists, and all these other people. But in the middle were all these fledgling, up and coming countries. Because remember, besides the United States, everybody else was broke after World War II. United States was the only superpower. Directly after the World War II, United States was the only superpower, and everybody was broke. So now it was a fight for which side would control it. How was what was going to be the new world order? Was it going to be democracy? I mean, or was it going to be communist socialist? So that's what the people in the middle. That's where the term third world came from, and now it's synonymous with countries that are impoverished, and I mean that type of shit. But that's where it came from, McCarthyism in the 50s. Smash that like. But yeah, I'm telling you, the Democratic Socialists, that is my pet peeve. I don't fuck with that. I feel like that will be the end. Once we go through that door, there's no going back. That's when the social construct is going to come into play, where it ain't even going to matter who the president is. We're going to be ran by AI. We're going to be cookie cutter, warehouse, and probably slimmed down. You know what I mean? Smash that like, y'all. People should vote for people who know what they are doing, that gives all Americans a shot. Yep, are living, getting better wages, can't afford a house. Yep, and it shouldn't even matter whether they Republican or Democrat. You know what I'm saying, Godfather? You know what I'm saying, Sassy? It shouldn't even matter whether they're Republicans or Democrats. It should matter if they have some interest-based ideas that relate to you and what you need. You feel me? Because on both sides of the spectrums, I mean, on both sides of the spectrums, Democrat and Republican, when I listen to some of the things they say, some of the things they say relate to me. You know what I mean? Both on both sides. You know? So as opposed to we need to be voting for who the candidate is, not what party he's under. Because just because he says he's Republican, if you look into their doja or what they talking about, it might not be a Republican ticket. It might be something more is to the individual, but they got to go by way of the Republicans. So like Donald Trump was pushing Republicans, knowing damn well he was trying to springboard off of them and just get in office. Smash that like, man. Let's get them likes up. 8 people in here, man. It should be 8 likes. It should be 18 likes. 8 people in here. And we fluctuate like cryptocurrency. Anybody heard anything about the Nolan West situation? I heard Nancy Grace mention it. Once Nancy Grace mentioned it, I mean, something got to be wrong, because she like to monetize a lot of shit. Before, Republicans and Democrats used to agree to disagree, but they get along and got job done. It seems like they don't even have a voice right now, though, Sassy. Yeah, I'm not going down the gender ideology road again. I cannot support Democrats. Randall. Yep, like a lot of stuff they doing under their banner is like, what? Goldie says no. Before, Republicans and Democrats, yep, I read that. But they did, Sassy. And now, do they even have a voice now? Like, shit, Donald Trump came through and like shut down so much shit. Right, but seemingly the LGBTQ plus and the Democratic Socialists don't even need funding. They coming in with their own funding. They just needed the banner. Sort of like Donald Trump and his peoples. He just needed the banner. Why you say Ben Crump can't read, Drew? And what's going on with you? Right now, there's a gay mafia in the Republican Party who are still on in the closet. Sassy, shh, you know the feds listening for sure. But that's why I keep telling people that like the LGBTQ plus community is the biggest one, the biggest crew, because some of them are in the closet, some of them out the closet, some on top of the closet. But you can't tell me they're not affiliated with communists, Democrats, socialists, any. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe he just couldn't pronounce the words, fam. But what was going on with the autopsy? Was any oddities in the autopsy? People also need to take personal responsibility. Exactly. He's a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he used to read in torts and I mean stuff like that. He could have been having a bad day with his vision. You just never know. Somebody might have wrote it. A doctor might. He might have been reading a doctor's handwriting. You know what he said about doctor's handwriting? It just should be so many variants. But what does that have to do with uh, Nolan Wells being maybe, you know what I mean, by his friends? What does that have to do with anything? That's what I'm saying. You're pointing out all that shit, but can you tell me what were they saying about Nolan Wells? They say that about MAGA. Ain't that crazy? That's like one of the, you know what I mean, the things that go along with when somebody calls somebody MAGA. I heard a lot of times people say MAGA are filled up with uneducated people. Yup, and that's a Sassy. You ain't the first person I heard say that. But y'all, you see what I'm saying though, Drew? You see how you came in and said something about his lawyer and not what happened to the young man? That'd be so crazy with us. That's why we never get down to the root of the problem because we always wear our beliefs and our superstitions on our sleeve. Before we answer anything, we got to come up in the room and say, first of all, what's up with Nolan Wells, man? I don't give a damn about Ben Crump. It was hard to follow. See what I'm saying? With Crump. So go get some more information. Go read it for yourself. I'm pretty sure it is on paper now. See what I'm saying though? I'm trying to find out about Nolan and you too busy stuck on Crump. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot. But it is what it is. I'm more educated than you possibly imagine. Me too, Godfather. Trump said smart people don't like him. Smash that like. But yeah, that's crazy though. We'll come in and say a bunch of evil shit and then say, well, yeah, Nolan Wells is. Nah, just come in and tell me about Nolan. I don't want to know that Ben Crump can read or not. You know what I mean? We talking about Donald Trump right now. Right, indeterminate, right? That's what they say. But they also said something about what was going on with the throat. It was missing, and they had to send it along later. Like all that kind of shit. That's what I'm talking about. I'm neither, dude. I ain't MAGA or Republican, fam. But you know, MAGA and Republicans are not the same. I am MAGA. All Americans for America. Salute, Godfather. I know, but the removal of the throat wasn't along with the body when they first did the initial new autopsy. Something was going on with it. Of course, when you do an autopsy, the whole, you know what I mean, cadaver is investigated, of course. What's going on, Snow Bear? Nope. He didn't drown. They said he didn't drown because remember his body was found on shore. And he didn't have no water in his lungs. They did say that on the first jump. Trump is MAGA alone. Yep. He drowned in a spot where it goes from 2 feet to 20 feet in an angle, a huge drop. I did not hear that. I did not hear that, dude. About no drop that he dropped in, fam. Smash that like, y'all. Smash that like, y'all. Shut me out. Lunching out. You. Ty Rob. What's up? Chilling, man. Who was Officer Tatum interviewing? And you know it's actually more on with you. I don't watch a lot of videos online. I like to look at the information on my own. Yup. Because them videos is just gonna give you their interpretation of it. Shout out to everybody coming through. Woo. What y'all got going on today, man? Can you even trust what anybody says that was there right now at the Nolan Wells situation? Because now, by now, any of this evidence has been tainted. It's all hypothesis now. Yeah, I'm not gonna go by because a lot of this times we listen to the kids that have been coached, and then it's trigger words and trigger questions that interviewer probably told them they were gonna ask them. They probably all when I do look at stuff like that, when they interview people, it be all like some mumbo jumbo. You'll never get down to really what I mean. No, you shouldn't because you don't know me. So you know what I mean. You don't know me, dude. So yeah, you shouldn't trust me. Why would I want you to trust me? You know what I mean? I'm just conversating with you. I mean, it ain't a matter of trust, it's a matter of logic. I mean, okay, for sure, man. I just came in, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can always say that. That's right. Nah, you shouldn't trust you. Should you trust me? No. Yes, but I'd rather wait on the actual outcome of the case. That's why I said that I'm going to keep guessing or be opinionated about it. Right. Nope. That's why I read a lot of them. So I'll make my own interpretation by the data and analytics that I glean from any piece of information that I get, any meta that I attain. I read different aspects of it, different theories. Um, Smash that like. If you really lived your life, you have learned that you can't really trust shit out here, man. Ain't no telling. Smash that like, y'all. Shut me out. Smash that like, y'all. Share me out. DB Coaster, what's going on? Okay. What kind of job y'all doing, DB Coaster? Yup. The entry level got to go in that management to keep you out of that warehouse. Always have a skill, even if not management, secretarial skills to keep you out of the warehouse. Um, okay, DB Coastal, so I know you in shape. Lifting up that granite and that marble. Mm-mm-mm. What's the most expensive marble have you ever worked with? Right. The fat boys are back, and you know they can never be whacked. The fat boys. Hard to say, man. To be honest, we got stuff that has gold and silver chunks in it, right? But is it marble that they put gold and silver chunks in, or is that marble that it came fresh out the hills? I seen a truck and a couple of slabs with a solid gold vein through it, and the alone just one. I can't even imagine the price. Wow, that's what it is. Okay. Because you know they like to say the marble that's around like the hills where they built Rome and different little spots where world monuments are at is like this. Godfather, you and Sassy Mo, y'all from a forgotten age, man. You know, people that go in depth on their skills and their trades. Nowadays, everybody want to be a TikToker and what's the other shit? Kick. Okay. That's what it is. Was that a trade, DB Coaster, that was passed down from your father? Smash that like. Oh man. Okay, so you not even you just started doing that joint like 6 years ago. Wow, that's crazy. Cause that messing with that granite and stuff like that, you got to be in shape to a certain extent. Right, Godfather. Okay, that used to happen a lot of times. They would fund the person that they were looking at from inside the company, maybe to move him up to middle management. They would fund their college, whether it was at a community college. You know what I'm saying? Remember that used to happen. You don't hear about that too much. You don't hear about people going to college too much nowadays, y'all. That's I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know anybody that's aspiring to go to college these days, unless it's community college. It's crazy. Let's get them likes up, y'all. Let me see. Shout out everybody that came through here. Okay. You ever dropped any of it, DB Coaster? You ever dropped any of that granite? Okay. Just a simple knowing how everything rocked, and then you was running it. What kind of store was it? I bet Nolan Wells and them would have never thought that they would be the topic of discussion all over the world right now last year. Smash that like y'all. McDonald's. Okay, yeah. Hey, McDonald's, man. Was it by way of Purdue College when they trained you? Was it by way of Purdue College? Because McDonald's is a CEO school.
Turkey bacon and stuff.
Okay, yeah, them apprenticeship programs was always good.
Man, I ain't got no chicken wings from here.
What is that?
On Sam's.
Right? Did you check on that joint supermarket
Oh,
warehouse?
no.
It's new to on Virginia Beach. It's something on DoorDash. It's in Virginia Beach.
Is it on Instagram?
I don't know, my baby.
Oh,
Look up supermarket warehouse.
I need to get some of these chicken wings. That's why I'm about to get the chicken wings from.
Yeah, that apprentice program that used to be valuable in our society. You rarely hear somebody say they engaging in it now. I know in my area, all you got to do is take a 90-day course in welding, and if that's what you really want to pursue, your career is basically set. Go get the welding. Okay, okay. What was in your resume, Sassy Mo? That they was impressed you had. Did you used to work at A&P or any of the other supermarkets? Because back then, remember everybody that was 16, as soon as somebody turned 16, 14, 15, that they could get hold of a work permit. But remember, as soon as people turned 16, they got their job.
I
It's
want to
behind
ask
you,
you
my boo.
something. I want to ask you something.
Okay. smash that like. Of course it was, family. Drew, you need to hear everything, huh? Yeah, that's how they do it here too, D. Because that's one of the main jobs, shipyard work. And now you don't even have to be a welder. You can go pull cable, or they got a job that pay out the ass called Firewatch. That's the ultimate loafer. I know you probably know I mean, you in the that Firewatch. That Firewatch is crazy. Motherfucker getting paid $20 an hour just stand by with a bucket or a fire extinguisher. Huh? You say the manufacturing industry is suffering greatly because of the lack of skill sets required to perform the tasks needed. Okay, like what? Like form molding and stuff like that. Because a lot of times here we got a lot of warehouses. We got what's some people with that make the saws and shit? Skill, the Canon camera company. It's so many different. You said you go back and do it all over again, you'll be an electrician. No doubt. Me too. That's so crazy. I would be an electrician or somebody involved in like AI or you know what I mean, technology. Because that's the forefront of all that stuff being a craftsman now. It's gonna be more technology than craftsman now. The manufacturing industry is suffering greatly. It is. My resume consisted of people skills, math skills, volunteer with elderly children. I was straight out of the high school and had a lot of. Was your math skills bilingual? Was bilingual also one of your soft skills? Remember they was hiring everybody that could speak Spanish, like 20 years ago. If you spoke Spanish, they was ready to put you on. Yup. Hey yo. And look, most people that they hire on as a welder, my little young blood, I don't think he welded shit yet. He been a welder for like 10 years. I don't think he ever welded anything. All they got him doing is pulling cable because the master welder that's on site is the one that's going to be doing everything. Because remember, these are $1 billion government contracts they welding, cause so they can have like 20 welders on site, but only 5 of them going to be able to touch that work. The rest of them going to be doing the menial labor. You know what I mean? H-1Bs replacing American workers is an issue to Boeing. Yep. Boeing, Northrop Grumman. Yep, get your and I was just looking at some IT search too. Yep. Remember everybody was getting Microsoft certified and you know what I'm saying? I got all that shit. The Microsoft certifications is old school. Now I don't even you know what I mean? I would have to do some research on where to go at. Start off with all that stuff now, but you know when everybody was getting certified, I definitely was getting college credits in high school also. And I never been to fourth or fifth grade. I went from third grade to sixth grade. And that was crazy because I moved to a different city and they seen the potential in the mind. Pipe fitting, okay. I heard that pipe fitting is where the money is though. The shipyard has more opportunities. Yeah, pipe fitting, all right, but I'm telling you, that master welder or that crane driver, the crane operator on the shipyard, George, what's up, George Bush? What's up with you, fam? The crane operator on the shipyard get paid out their ass because they can't stand that motherfucker long. The person in the crane can only be in the crane for like, I think like 4 or 5 hours.
Hey, well,
Yup, HVAC, all that shit.
oh,
Well, jeans look good on you too.
thanks so. Thank
Yeah, that. Uh, yeah, a lot of tech schools around here. That's what they forte is: welding, um, auto body mechanics, ship fit, anything that's going with the maritime trade. If you live near the coast, anything with the maritime trade pay big money because that's, I mean, right? Everybody want to be on Twitch. Don't none of these kids don't want to do it. They don't want to get dirty. They wear sneakers that cost $1,000. $1,000 ain't shit to these kids because the dollar ain't. Y'all ever notice that? Kids today, you go get some shoes, get them some shoes for $200. They might be satisfied, but $1,000 is what the shoes run at for these kids. Underwater welding, yeah. One of my cousins is an underwater welder. He was going overseas like to Bali and Fiji doing work. He done retired now. I think he like 50. He retired riding a motorcycle somewhere. But I'm gonna tell you something. Do not get in the welding, all that shit trade if you are tall, especially if you're going through the maritime, because them ships little is a motherfucker. Well, I don't know about the newer model ships, but if you go on tour like on the Wisconsin and those battleships that fought World War II and all the other little junks, I'm telling you, man, those ships is little as hell, man. And they would have never taken trade or cooking and sewing out of. Yeah, remember that used to be called home economics. Home economics. Remember they required you to cook something. You would do that pillow where you learn how to sew. If your school was getting a little bit of funding, you had the sewing machine. You know what I'm saying? You had a wood shop class where y'all made that rocket every year, that car with the rocket in the back of it. You know what I mean? Your science class, you dissected a pig or a frog. That's if your school had funding. Yeah, the shipyard here got them too for them unmanned Jones, and we also have them docked here. Those unmanned boats with the little cone things on top. The one, and then they have the ones that only require like 50 people on them, where the big ones require like 500, 600 people. We have all of it though. I'm like within miles from the largest naval base in the world. All of those ships that they got that you see on TV, I've seen them all in person. Like it's nothing to look over the bridge and see them at the Postal Naval Shipyard getting serviced, or just look out into the horizon and see a long fleet of them. Ain't shit like seeing the motherfucking American naval fleet on the fucking Atlantic Ocean. That shit look crazy. You say by gold. Yeah, you know, on it, we got a couple of shipyards. We got the oldest shipyard in the country. You know what I mean? The Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, Norfolk Naval, Portsmouth Naval. That's the oldest shipyard in the country, and we also got the largest naval base. I'm telling you, it's nothing to look off into the horizon and see like 50 Black Hawks, or you know what I mean, look up in the sky and see all kind of crazy jet play. Because you know what I mean, you say the 43% of the people that back Trump need help, Jimmy. Yeah, that school funded them went crazy. They had a joint here where the people was trying to get the people to ask them why did they allow the satanic, some kind of after school satanic program to meet up at their schools. It was in this area. I was like, I don't seen it all. Like this shit, even if they're not worshiping the devil, they know that name is a hook. Motherfucker heard satanic after school program. I'm like, what they pushing? What they on? And then even with the people dressed like women, men dressed like women, reading books to my kids, and I didn't sanction it. I mean, close to Krusty in the White House, lavender marriages, all that stuff. But all of that shit been existed, man. Is the marrying of the money. It be, you know what I mean, the marrying of the money sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Smash that like. But Donald Trump bringing in a new era. We have seen the last of the conventional politics and conventional politicians. Every politician after Donald Trump now is gonna have you know what I mean, a stick or something that he, you know what I mean. Yes, we see the aircraft here for the most part. Biloxi and Gulfport is in the center of three bases and a few National Guard. Okay, is Biloxi still a main where the army gets trained at or recruited post too, because Biloxi was big in recruitment back in the day too. Yeah, a couple of my peoples. My homeboy that got into that maritime trade. That's where he lived in Biloxi for like I think like 5 years. Went down there and did good. I don't even think he wasn't even into the maritime trade when he went to Biloxi. He was down there just enjoying the particulars, and he was endeavoring in like entertainment and stuff. One of my people still down there. Have you ever heard of the Splash Committee with Dollar Day and his brother Mikey D? My boy Pun Poppy down there in Mississippi right now. He got a music and a media company. I don't know why y'all keep thinking that like Jeffrey Epstein was anybody to those people, because they threw him away. Don't y'all understand that? He was no less just like one of they pimps that maybe was gonna snitch on him. They threw his ass away quickly. If you ain't catch it, he didn't even get assaulted in prison. He got erased. Catch the Air Force Base. Yeah, I heard of it. What's going on, Money L with the green beamer, sipping Zima with this girl named Katrina. Money Mike, what's going on your side of things, fam? What's up with you? Shout out everybody coming through, man. Right. As well as that could be taken in with the Nolan Wells case. Innocent people just don't go lawyer up 30 minutes after your homeboy go missing, you go get a lawyer. That smells of, I might know something. Keishler. Okay, Keishler. Who owns that Keishler now? That's not the camp that the military base that what's the dude that played Money Mike? What's the dude that played Money Mike, my boo? Cat Williams. Yeah, you know Cat Williams opened up a base somewhere down south where he's interacting with these colleges in that area, and also the government experimenting with AI. Google that shit. Okay, and Ford Motor Company, you know what? Ford Motor Company put a lot of people through college. Ford Motor Company put a lot of people in their own homes. Ford Motor Company put a new car in a lot of people's garage, parking lot, driveway, on their street every year. Ford Motor Company was one of the number one go-tos if you had a auto plant or auto part plant in your community. Ford did do a lot for America, but now they start sending all the Ford. They sent the F-150 from my area to Mexico. That's crazy. Can you imagine the money that they saving by paying those Mexican people to make those F-150s? They didn't want to pay, and you know that kind of offset their economy here too a little bit. Whereas that money was dependent on to that particular neighborhood where all the Ford people probably moved. Their kids won't go to college this year because the Ford plant done closed, and now they ain't making that money no more. You know, a lot of people depended on that stuff, man. No, but Cat Williams has his own military base. That is I don't know if it's that one. It's not that one, but it's a military base that was deactivated. It used to be a recruiting station. It does have some big gospel singer that's stationed there. Wow. Remember all the rappers used to be in the military too for hey, I should do it. Nobody has done a documentary on that. It used to be a lot of military dudes that wanted to be rappers in the 90s, man. It's about certifications, yep. Welding, HVAC, plumbing. Tech is going to take a lot of jobs, right? I'm telling you, that's why I say go ahead and get it out the way. They've been telling y'all for years to go to ECPI, ATT, all these tech schools. CAD started when remember they used to push everybody to get involved in CAD. Hell no, I don't vote. The politicians want to separate us as a country and by God. That's why they're getting cared by the American citizens, brothers and sisters, more than I do worthless politicians. Okay, at the competition of my friendship, I received a 1980 F-150 in a full-time position. Oh, okay. When you completed your internship, they gave you a 1980. What year was this, Godfather? That's crazy, but remember, that was the 80s. Remember, shit was happening like that in the 80s. That's when Oprah was doing her thing. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Unpopular opinion, the military or government puppets. Okay. Why didn't Mississippi, says Money Mike, send Nolan Ware's entire body to the autopsy people? Part of his neck was missing, plus other parts of his body. Okay, damn, that was dope right there. Do you still got that car, Godfather? And I asked the same thing. What was going on with the throat? I heard that they didn't send his throat to the autopsy because somebody probably choked him while somebody hit him or some shit. I was just talking about that earlier. What happened with his throat? And somebody was like, they usually take out the throat, but do they usually forget to send it when they send the body? Do they forget when they send the whole cadaver? Do they forget to send it? But yeah, remember it used to be incentives to do these things like apprenticeship schools and stuff. Now it's just a part of your student loan. Smash that like, y'all. Smash that like, y'all. What Israel warrior do? I drove it off the assembly line and drove it until 1997 and gave it to my son. Okay, okay. That's what it is. That's what it is. Shout out everybody coming through. Did you vote for Trump? The great white hope, Mr. Trump. What is that supposed to mean, Israel? Ain't you a white guy? Israel warrior, ain't you a white guy? Smash that like, y'all. We got 21 in here, man. 21 likes. Let's get them likes up first and foremost. Let's get the conversation here, man. Let's give us some more on that. The great white Trump, Israel warrior. Yeah. See what I'm saying? I knew it. You're a white guy. You're the Israel warrior. No. Your people get in line, boy. And that's probably how you said it too. Your people get in line, boy. Jesus. See what I'm saying? Smash that like, man. How's your day going, man? Nolan Wells, yeah, they said his throat was missing. What was it at? Why was it at any time away from the body? Oh no, I saw it. The Great White Hope, Mr. Trump. I saw it. Israel warrior, some white guy. You're not even. You afraid to even say Aryan warrior. You're Israel warrior. Come on, man, with the bull, man. Smash that like Nolan Wells independent autopsy. Was it his privileged friends that did it? Y'all think them boys killed Nolan? Y'all think them guys, but now these guys are unusual suspects, fam. To be honest, they unusual suspects. And it's showing, they lawyering up. You know what I mean? Smash that like you are afraid to say what's real. Because you're hiding as Israel warrior and really Aryan warrior, which means home. Iran means home of the Aryans. No, they're not. And they're going to the booty house, just like Carmelo Anthony. Y'all talked all that shit about Carmelo Anthony. Them boys they going to an even worse establishment. Carmelo gonna be looked out for. These dudes are going there with white privilege, so they gonna get got. They gonna get their pockets ran like rabbit ears. And also they ooh ah in my Missy voice, boy. And you know it. Look at you, man. No. No. You're wrong, Israel. No, that's not your face. Your face is in some kind of with that ugly beard, man. I saw that picture. That's how I knew you was a white boy. And you got Israel warrior. Ain't nothing is or real about you. Smash that like, fam. It's people like you that keep us separated as Americans. You'll come in under the guise of, just spitting your political spiel, but it's hate filled. My people, your people are disgusting profiting off of somebody's death. Look at all the dead slaves and even just dead white people that died from your people. Their own people. Your people enslaved their own peoples. So what does that say? Your people. Exactly, Godfather. You give good white folks a bad name. Godfather, I couldn't have said it better. Know what I mean? Just coming in with some bullshit. But shit, I'll be a huckleberry today. You say you voted 3 times against Trump, cowboy. That's what it is. What's going on with your cowboy, baby Yoda? Welcome back in, fam. Shit, everybody in here white, dude. What is you talking? I'm the only black person in here. Maybe Sassy Mo. Everybody, Money Mike. Everybody else white, dude. That's what I'm saying. You came in running your mouth. You ain't spitting no facts. You spitting all hate. That's why it doesn't prosper. And you got them little spots in your beard because your nerves bad. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Coming in here spewing hate. Hate. Look at them. That's black dope-ish complaining they don't have anything when the government takes care of everything. Shit, I like to know what the government take care of anything at. Even white folks in here laughing at you right now. We can't even fuss you out because you're funny. You know what I mean? Israel warrior. You want to be a Viking. You ain't took a shower and got there go 2 months because you're a Viking. Smash that like. Yep, it's fake warrior. Thank you, and I am infidel. What's going on with you, infidel? I'm just cool. What y'all think about this stuff with the guy, Nolan Wells? His throat was missing when they did the autopsy. Why would I have to prove it, dude? Like, you sound like, you know what, Jonathan? Stop with the bullshit, man. Y'all, Jonathan is back as the Israel warrior. Jonathan, stop with the bullshit, man. And Cowboy, you are so right. There are plenty of white folks on government assistance. And more power to them. Get it. If you need it, let the government provide it. That's the problem. We separate Americans and who should be getting what. And the shit is plenty Americans on government assistance. All of us that are citizens should be provided it anyway, right? Am I right? Or is it only for select groups? Plenty of white people on government assistance. Smash that like, y'all. Because if they not, then shit, there's a lot of motherfuckers scrambling because they poor. So because that don't correlate with poor people because there's plenty of poor white people. So if not that many white people on public assistance, they scrambling. You know what I'm saying? But that's we all know that's not true. But does it matter if an American is getting assistance? Look at you. See what I'm saying? When you can't really come in with some kind of intelligent combo, you will say stuff like that, Israel. You eat it and you was called fudge. Wow, Israel warrior. That's what you say up all your racist stuff for to do that shit, man. That's all you got, dude. Like, you know what? You fired. You got to go get some more content, man. Come in with your old or your new one that you go create because this one right here is out of here, family. You're fired. I tried to let you rock and see where you was coming at with it, but you know what I mean? I tried to see where he was coming at with it. I mean, yep, I would no doubt, Tony, that throat probably is missing from the first autopsy. Maybe that might be where the evidence lies that will prove whether he was killed or died at his own hands. Because they say the lungs weren't waterlogged or anything. The problem is people too concerned about what other people got going on, like you, Israel, gotta put your 2 cents in and just sound dumb. Right? It's just so crazy. Like that we can't just politic without but you know what? That's just the side of the times. And once somebody shows us who they are, we have no choice but to believe them. And it's the side of the times, man. There's a lot of ignorant people that don't have I mean, they got too much time on their hands. The PS5 server must be down. The government fucks up more shit than they fix. When the government thinks that dumb ideas and tries to fix it with stupid. Yup, the government is terrible. They are really on trial and error. But don't own nothing because they're coming to get it. You do realize that. And it's crazy. If the government owe you, you got to go around that. The tail to get to the ass and vice versa. But if you owe them something, you won't even know. They got it. You be like, God damn well. You check it, the government will check it like, what the fuck? If you owe them, they got it. It ain't no, they'll get it. You know what I'm saying? And then they tell you they can't find these lost kids, but they can find you if you owe some IRS money and move about 6 times. The bitch is gonna eventually knock on your door. I was wondering is James home? No, I mean no, he's not right now. Every Vietnam veteran I've ever talked to says the exact same thing. The government got my friend. Yup. Look at Rambo. Remember Rambo? That movie was one of my favorites. He went loony boony, and he told them, "Don't play with him." But you know, the Vietnam War, you don't really hear no. You always hear about the last World War II. I mean, participant. But you notice they don't never highlight the Vietnam War. A lot of our granddaddies was in the room, or our uncles and dads were victims of the Vietnam War's PTSD. That shit must have been booming. A lot of people came home from the Vietnam War shell shocked. I think that DDT stuff that they dropped on them too, trying to kill the foliage and stuff, and it probably was in their drinking water and in their food. That shit probably did a great deal to their brains too. But y'all remember in each neighborhood, you would have 1 or 2 dudes that were affected by the Vietnam War, and every so often they would snap the fuck out. The National Guard had to come get them on some Rambo shit. They would look out. We had a dude called Shell Shock. Before he went to the Vietnam War, evidently he was a pimp. You ever seen the Return of J.D. Walker, you know, with the hats and shit? But he was a 2-hat pimp because he would have on one daub on top of another daub. And he always had, when he was not dressed in his gangster shit, let me tell you about Shell Shock. He would have, sometimes he would go into these, you know what I mean, paramilitary phases where he just run around with the olive green, the rucksack and all that stuff, and motherfucker kids used to mess with him and all. That's where we got the name Shell Shock, because he be reenacting that shit, and evidently he must have been a tunnel rat or something, because he used to get deep. And then when crack came, he even engaged in crack. Imagine this nigga. But when he was off duty and he was ready to get off the base of his mind, he would put on these outfits like some pimp shit. Floor shine shoes, shark skin pants, nice them Tony Montana lapel shirts and shit. Like I said, the double daub hat. Then he had the knife then. He be with his knife. He'd be on the city bus just like tripping. He'd be like, that's Shell Shock. Hair done and everything. You feel me? Smash that like. What was he dependent on? Godfather, opioids and stuff. What's up, OG Kicks? What's up with you, fam? How's your day? They see the topics or listen to the dumb ass Johnson show and don't do research right.
Now this one, this one, Steve.
But that's when it was on a few media outlets. Nowadays, everybody is a junior cub reporter. Anybody can be a media outlet. You say your brother came back. What was it? Was it heroin or something? Dead President's movie. The dude was dealing with a lot of trauma. Yeah, that PTSD. Man, that's well. Imagine raising your kids for 18 years or even 14, 15 years, and the government kidnap them and put them in a goddamn gray cubicle for 50 years for something they ain't do. At least if they drop them off in the jungle, push come to shove, if they survive it, they're gonna be able to come back. But you know what I mean? Can you imagine that? The paddy roller still roll through the concrete and snatch up the natives, and that's just what it is, family. That black tar heron, oh, that was crazy too. That's when they was doing this shit with the cotton ball and all. Oh man, fam. Did he ever get into recovery and get himself right after that? Smash that like y'all. Did he ever get into? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But y'all realize that the drug game changed now. It's more technology. It's all in a little pill. Remember fentanyl? They putting fentanyl in it. Now they putting they would just be like they putting fentanyl and cocaine. Now they putting cocaine and fentanyl. Fentanyl has taken over. People got fentanyl addictions, Shabashkin addictions. Um, what's the other shit they used to give them for the in the place of it? What was that? Morphine. What was the other? It's some shit. I can't think of it because I'm not with it. I mean, but I remember methadone. Methadone. They replace one addiction with another because they get addicted to that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, they say it is. Because you remember, being on any of those opioids, heroin, or any of that stuff, it's like being having a baby. Because that is and it's mental and physical because okay, at certain times of the day that baby has um gonna need to be fed. And if you don't have a constant source or money to do it, you will be going through it until you get it. You know what I mean? That baby is gonna be kicking and fighting until it gets that. You know what I mean? 3 years in a military mental health hospital, but he recovered, but he was never the same. Wow, Godfather. That's crazy. The military that's put him in there, and what they do, put him on methadone. That's a drug that I don't know why nobody want to put themselves and give them a demon. That I mean I related to having a baby. I'll say a demon that needs hellfire, or you're gonna get hellfire. You know what I mean? I'll say because them people that be on heroin, they not just doing that shit getting high and chilling. You ever see that they getting high and turning into a big ass puss ball because their arms and their hands be abscessed. Go look at your local intravenous drug user. His hands will look like Popeye the Cellar Man hands. You be like abscesses on the elbows. Who the fuck wants to do that to themselves just to escape reality and live in like a la la land? Hell no, because the pain is you're gonna have to deal with that shit eventually, and that's physical and mental. I knew somebody that was forced recon
Just those.
in the Korean War. To the day he passed, he said that he didn't lose, they was winning. Shit, he lost his mind in the Korean War. They very rarely speak on the Korean War though. Y'all notice that too? That's some shit Smash that like, y'all. Share me
They can
out.
come here.
All right. Maybe Trump's bonus words make. Wow. Me neither. That Bin Laden box cutter stuff was just crazy. All of that stuff was crazy. Like, wow. But you know what? That shit seemed like a movie when it happened. But yeah, because they said Bin Laden them did it, right? So they should be at Saudi Arabia because Bin Laden is Saudi Arabian, and most of the people who were involved were Saudi Arabian. Like that's why I ain't see where it correlated with Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, and all these other different kind of that shit was crazy, but it is what it is. It's done now. Smash that like. Nolan Wells' independent autopsy. Was it his privileged friends? And who divided America? Take your pick and take a shot at that. Somebody in the chat. Was it Nolan's privileged friends that did him in? Or was he drunk? Hey y'all, get over there and check out the BNC Discord too. The brother Space Dust over there. You know what I mean, doing this thing. He might be playing his guitar today. So now that y'all in here, double tap that stream. Let's get us on the other side of 100. If wealthy people had to send their children to war, there'd be no wars, right? Exactly. Remember, they was talking about my granddaddy fought in the Civil War. You know, a lot of y'all granddaddy sent their slave, just like in the Revolutionary War. They sent somebody else to fight by proxy. You know what I mean? Smash that like, y'all. Chilling beans and rice. What's up with you? Smash that like. Beans and rice. What happened to the young boy throat, man? Okay, yeah, you just clocked out. What you about to get into? Y'all see the weather switched up. Now it's raining out there. Oh yeah, JN, you too old for that stuff, man. You too old to be trolling, man. I don't know. I was talking to one of the Nolan's friends the other day. Not one that was there, but he knew Nolan and two of the other boys, and he don't know what to believe. Okay, so he's undecided. So okay. Did he say but even though there's a bunch of controversy after two different autopsies, that should let alone tell you that something ain't right. Nothing's cut and dry. Did he? I not heard Nancy Grace mention Nolan Wells' name, so she done found a way to monetize it. So shit, I'm telling. This shit gonna go down in conspiracy theory. Cause does Nancy Grace ever find any of those people or solve any of that shit, or she just do heavy promotion on it? But you know what's so crazy? They do have a camera on it. They can zoom that satellite that they have in space and run it back and tell you exactly what happened. But who got the money for it? Yeah, they still doing that, Sassy Mo, smoking weed in DC. They got like an ice cream truck that'll go around passing out marijuana cigarettes. I smoke weed in DC all the time. Every time I go to DC, I smoke weed. They don't bother you. Motherfuckers, they got a whole little section now where I mean, you can get weed brought to your hotel room, but it'll be like an exchange where it is they'll give you a bag of candy with the weed. So the weed is a gift, and the candy you buy like 3 pieces of candy for $200. He says it doesn't sound unusual for his phone to be in the boat. Still, he says everyone just pulls up whenever and gets their stuff out the lockbox. But you know, guess what though? What young boy separates from the pack without his phone, knowing that's his only mode of communication? You don't know none of these young people that like to leave their phone. Smash that like y'all. He won't go on swimming though. He was going to meet a girl. Don't when he had needed his phone to make contact with the girl. Have I been to? Yeah. Oh no. You're asking coastal. Have you been to the beach? Yeah, he won't go on swimming though. He was going to meet up with a girl. You said it smelled like a government psyop to you. And these days, that water don't mean shit to a phone. Only thing you can do is lose it, get swept away in the tide. These phones are fully equipped now. What's that Lil Wayne phone? All these kids got that Lil Wayne type of phone. Remember that shit? They drop it in the water. Them shit's legit. He probably had that motherfucker in a waterproof outer box. What young person leaves their phone? That is communication number one right now. Is some young person sleeping with their phone in their hand right now. Right, too many distractions to keep from looking at what the government is doing right now. I go for that. I believe that. Because all the shit that we was focused on now, we focused on a bunch of individual, depends on what's your belief in. Your morals, we focus on a bunch of shit like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Even if it's some controversy about it, I still want to know about it because now it ain't cut and dry. So shit, let's get down to the bottom of it. I don't know. I just know he says that the story doesn't sound unusual amongst a group of friends. Basically, stuff that was normal and no service on the island. And but you know what? Nah, that can't fly. Especially if he one of these black kids and white kids that got them iPhones. They don't need no service to be on them because Starlink is hooked to iPhone now. Y'all know that, right? Shit. If he would, yes, he would have been because how was he thinking he was gonna link up with the girl? How did him and the girl get in contact? Look, I'm about to let my peoples go, and I'm about to get off the boat. Meet me here. Come on now. He just is getting off the boat, just wandering aimlessly. I doubt it. And then again, if he been drinking, was there any parents there? None of those people were 21. Who gave him the alcohol? You know what I'm saying? There's so many variants. Who gave him the alcohol if he was drinking? Who allowed him to drink? Was an adult driving the boat or was the kids driving the boat? Whoever that adult was on that boat, I want to talk to him. I want to talk to her. Okay, salute for that. But you know what I'm saying? What's the variance? I want to know who was the adult on the boat, who gave those kids alcohol. You know what I mean? But you don't even if they drunk, them kids ain't letting go of that phone, man. Nah, just use common sense. No, that is the one thing you might get a shoe, or you know what I mean. The gold chain his grandma again when he graduated, but that phone is like, I mean, the mark of the beast. They don't let that shit go. Smash that like y'all. Shit, I'm gonna put some of my all that fuck out of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember Stu Thompson? They used to race bikes in the 80s. Nobody remembers Stu Thompson, man. I'm not familiar with the Brandon Tatum case. What's the Brandon Tatum case? Catch me up on that. Yeah, hey yo, Sassy Mo. They just told y'all. Go back and look at my titles. I did that last month. I was asking everybody, did y'all realize they just merged the United States military with Israel's, and they're gonna, I mean, be allowed to look at all our data and stuff like that. Yeah. So they did pass it. That is so crazy. I just look. They just was talking about it last month. They did let that shit go. That is fucking crazy. That is crazy. We going down the hell in the handbasket right now. Well, who's Brandon Tatum? Hey man, I know for a fact there are adults on there. I'm sure there was off-duty cops and lawyers and shit too. They were to go and get together and get fucked up and bring their kids. Right. So who was the oldest person there that should be locked up? And if those young white boys had something to do with hiding his death, even if they had nothing to do with the actual death, if they hid it, they should be locked up too. Because we it could save everybody a bunch of. I mean, it just this what happened to him. Okay. Why did you not tell? I was scared. Okay. Yeah, they linking up. They we're gonna be taking care of Israel for the rest of their life, however long, and supporting whatever little beef they get into. Right. That don't make no sense. Right. Elon and he knew everybody 401k. So he knew exactly how much money he was gonna get. And that's crazy, he get kicked out of Doge.
Excuse me.
But then he turn around, he get kicked out of Doge. He turns around and becomes a trillionaire. That shit is crazy. Oh yeah, I don't watch Officer Tatum. Nah. That's on him. I don't watch him. I don't watch him. He gonna have his own hypothesis. I know exactly what he's talking about. That's what they say. He got Steve Irwin by some kind of sea creature. I doubt it though. What was the puncture wound? Was that why they kept his throat? Who is Eugene Daniels? See all these people. I don't follow no man. I do my own investigations, family. Or if I'm interested in something, because you'll become. It'll be like some of these people you listen to. You'll be fucking around promoting them like somebody just said. Go listen to him like he's your pastor. Nah, dog. Smash that like. Next thing you know, he be getting you tips on goddamn how to cook your goddamn on filet mignon. I don't care if he's from MSNBC. I ain't fucking with him. Definitely not fucking with MSNBC. You can't listen to shit they say. They're not gonna step up. They're gonna be worried about their careers and going to jail. If you know somebody here, ask them. They will tell you they're corrupt as fuck. Right? Black guy, toasted. You just want to goddamn some attention. Eyes without a face. It ain't no easy trace. Americans are getting robbed. Some are cheering for it. Others are crying, and others are just riding the roller coaster. Eyes without a face. See what I'm saying? Just want some attention, man. There you go. Didn't you hear about Boosie suing Biloxi for some fuck shit some years ago? I don't know, but Boosie sucks too. I don't buy into all those entertainers and stuff. Nah, they just, niggas with the spotlight that don't know how to represent for black men. You understand what I'm saying? They niggas in the spotlight that don't know how to represent for black men. I don't even mess with Boosie and them. It's funny. I'll look at this stuff, but as of taking them seriously, nah, Lil Boosie, none of them dudes, man. It was wrong with America today. Prayer for what's going on with you, Peace family. I listen to gospel. My favorite gospel group is the Williams Brothers. But I go old school with the gospel too. The Clocks. Remember when the Crouches was popular in gospel? Andre Crouch and his sister. The entertainment system is satanic, all of it. You know what I mean? It's just a part of the wheels. It's no less, it's their own algorithm. And once you notice that once these people create an algorithm, they get rid of them. Once they create an algorithm, they don't need you no more. Ask R. Kelly. Once they created his algorithm, they don't need him no more. Neil Legend, God carried me. He went to the mall. If it ain't old school gospel, I don't even listen to it. This new school gospel sound like that mixture of country and rap that they doing that's successful in the black community. Y'all love to zone out. But that's a genre that it's gonna stay mixtape because music ain't really selling. But that is the mixture of cowboy music and black music that's going on around lately. Like the reason I say cowboy music because there's a lot of the tush push and the shuffle and the mixture of it with the what's that shit, the bus stop and you know what I'm saying? Who went to the mall and the police took his jewelry? And who was that one person, infidel, that can unite the world? Yeah, all our musicians came from the church. Shit, Peabo Bryson's to you, Whitney Houston's right in you. Everybody had a background in the church. Remember, all of us used to go to church. Y'all do remember that, right? That everybody used to go to church in the 80s. White people, black people, Chinese people. It was in the 70s and the 80s. The church was. On Sundays, everybody was in church. You look in the church parking lot, you'll see somebody walking out. They're handing the kids some Kool-Aid and cookies and shit. Every neighborhood you in with churches smelling like fried chicken and it was a lot of industry out of that too. Oh, Bootsy. Bootsy sucks, man. They should have took all that old bullshit ass jewelry, man. He just I'm telling you, people like that, that's why he just got beat out of his money. Not knowing that Donald Trump has a pardon czar. She is a ex-federal inmate, a black lady, that she worked for him with the pardons and stuff. I don't know why he gave two white guys $600,000. It'd be the quintessential Negroes that, look to their lawyers for assistance instead of investigating and they do it themselves. Yup. They've been doing that cop shit. I never understood that motherfuckers get pulled over for impersonating the police. They got the lights on their car, and the radio and all that. It's like, what the fuck? Y'all know that the sheriff has his birth in Islam. Being a sheriff, that's Islamic. Sharia law. That when everybody that's so, they're gonna come, the Muslims are gonna come in and put Sharia law on us. When if you have a sheriff that's in your community, y'all know the sheriff and the police are two different things. And the sheriff has more power than a regular police officer. A police officer is no less a glorified security guard within the boundaries of the laws that they're protecting. But a sheriff is more, you know what I'm saying? They have way more power. And it's from the word sharif in Sharia law. The person who, is minister justice with the law. The sharif. And that's out of when the black people ran Europe. They had sheriffs that they put in to keep the white guy that was mainly the most brutal one. He had them overlord over all the other white people to make sure the laws of Sharia law was being practiced. Y'all didn't even know that, did you? The word sheriff is Sharia law in its birth. He didn't give Trump any money, DB. He gave that to two white boys that was scamming. That's and probably his lawyer too. His lawyer probably got a piece of that. He'll never know, man. We'll never mention your name. What if he takes us to court? We won't mention your name, man. I mean, he gave that shit up with his dumb ass. That show you he don't know politics. All he can do is entertain. And bought a few little ugly sweaters and some bullshit jewelry. And now, as black people, we always look at what somebody has on as opposed of who they put on, who put them on. If you can understand that, we'll look at what they got on. Say, he got money. No, he doesn't. And they're holding a handful of money, and that's all. That's probably all they got. And if all the money that they got in their lifetime can fit in the fucking palm of their hands, they ain't got shit. Ain't that's crazy? Like, yeah, Lil Boosie and them, I don't buy into it. I'll listen to his music, but listening to him as my politics or my lifestyle, quality of life or whatever, nah, he's minstrel. Well, the state police is another thing altogether. The state police is the king to the FBI and all kind of shit, man. But the sheriffs, they got a lot of power. They got power. That's why it's the sheriffs that come and put your ass out. They're linked to the land. Police are more or less an organization. You can go be a policeman all over the country as long as you have the credentials and you got the accredited. I mean, all the stuff you gotta have. It's like just being a security guard. But a sheriff is, I mean, that's why some sheriffs they get the big budgets. Okay, using that as an example of the corruption. Okay, okay. Well, shit, Mississippi been corrupt. Nolan Wales, independent autopsy. Was it his privileged friends who divided America? Yeah, sheriff is officer of the court and of the land though. They got more rights than I mean, the sheriff, the bailiffs. I mean, but you know that when you cross over to it, when they say all rise and you cross over into the courtroom, especially if you when you go up there with with the lawyers and everything set, that thing that swing like that, once you cross over there, you will know that's like on a ship because the judge is like no less like captain's mass. We on the maritime law here in America. The law that the basis of our law is maritime law. You say in the case of Nolan, maybe he became comfortable. Who knows? Wow, the governor's terrible up there too. Upstate New York in those towns, it's usually run by family members, especially the jails, the sheriff, yup, the mayor, yup. It's a paying job and it has a lot of pull. That's why they don't have the sheriff department and the police department are two different things. And you ever notice that the police have no jurisdiction when they come into the sheriff's jail? They'll have jurisdiction over their facilities, like at their police stations. But when they bring the inmates and stuff into the facilities, like at the jail, the sheriff running, you notice they put their gun in the box. They deal strictly on the perimeter of it. They don't go into the jail. You'll never see a police officer walking through the jail serving trays or, you know what I mean, checking count time and shit. Nepotism. Yeah, but they got more jurisdiction than a regular police officer. and the jurisdiction is within the county that they're affiliated with. You know, like I said, the sheriff. That's what they back. That's what the police badge and the sheriff badge has its origin in Islam. The sheriff. Smash that like y'all. Shit. You said humanity has become more mechanized by the day. You said you prefer constitutional law. But with constitutional law having its basis in the Constitution, I think the Constitution should be revamped, reworded, and thought out. It should be the Constitution should be made an amendment, and they should create a new Constitution because you know what? A lot of more different things have come into place since they first put that first initial 10 down. What was the initial jumps? 10 of them, right? So much has changed since then with the advent of AI and all these technologies. Also with Obama granting these people a chance to marry each other, men and men and women and women. You understand? So I think that the Constitution, and there's just so many variants, even that is like 5, 6 different other kinds of currency that you can use if you didn't want to use the dollar. You can do all kind of shit. But I mean, yeah, they're gonna eventually have to. It's like when somebody comes in here and tells me what the Bible says. No, 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 fuck no. The Bible is like hundreds of years old. Shit done changed on this side. Remember we used to now they blast, right? You know what I mean? You gotta think, you gotta upgrade it up into the future in your thinking. Especially when you're dealing with religion, because now shit, they need to revamp that shit though. I'm not gonna say that because animals are becoming obsolete. Everything that we using and we're like putting them together. All of these animals are I mean genetically altered. Right. They say don't call you a human being. So we can't go by that animal shit. Can we even believe the animals that we see are there in their original form? They might be, you know what I mean, cloning these shits. Remember when they was talking about cloning sheep? And then in my area is where they first had the in vitro fertilization for the babies. Remember, you know, people, your test tube, baby. You know what I mean, the Constitution is written by exactly what's happening today. No one can rule the country. Trump wants the Constitution gone, right? And it will be. You know what I mean? It will be because it's a relic. That's what I feel like. They should revamp it because it was designed around the Protestant straight white male. And now they don't want to be Protestant. Look at J.D. Vance. He was Protestant. He went Catholic, married an Indian lady. So they don't want to be straight. It is a lot of predominantly white LGBT movement out there. Well, let's hear it for the boys. And then, I mean, it's just like now you got to take in the factor that more and more people are citizens of the United States that are of color. So now what, you know what I mean? There used to be a monopoly on being a citizen of the United States. Now it's not a monopoly. That's what they say the snake tricked Eve, but some people say the snake was the civilization before us. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at that. Every other culture, the snake is a good being. It's only in like Christian culture where they say the snake did this and that, and being a snake is known as somebody that's bad. Go do your history on it. All over the world, they have these beings, especially in Southeast Asia, called Nagas, where they were the mother culture. Off the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, South America, Central America, they have what you call the cult of the snake, the winged serpent, Quetzalcoatl. No, not that. Quetzalcoatl is akin to like Jesus Christ. They say he'll come back one day. And in some societies, they don't got it brainwashed that he'll have a white beard and white eyebrows and shit. You know who put that in there? They trying to make veggies and fruit. Yeah, everything's seedless now. You like, God damn, well, if it's seedless, how they grow? Right. But it's certain, it's different kind of Islamic law. Y'all do realize that, right? The Iranians are Shia, and the Saudi Arabians are Wahhabis and Sunni. And all it is that just like we got the Republicans and the Democrats at the highest level of it, it was the religious clerics wanted to take over, and the family of Muhammad wanted to take over when he died. It was the separation, the family from the church. You understand what I'm saying? So that's all it is. But it's so many different variants of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there was a reptilian species. You can see that your hands are webbed. Something had it. You know what I mean? And it's everywhere. It's evident. But we'll call them dinosaurs and stuff like that. But you notice that as it progresses, it's fewer and fewer dinosaur fossils are turning up, and it's just turning up like skeletons with big eyes and funny shaped craniums. Fewer and fewer. Did y'all ever see those ones that they found under the church in Mexico? They had lizard skeletons with jewelry, big jewelry, gold jewelry on and shit. I'm gonna have to go try to do my research on that. But yeah, they always say it was seven. Yeah, remember that shit? That shit crazy. That stuff is real, fam. Did you vote for Trump? That Save Act is crazy. I think I'm on the next topic. That's what I'm on the title. You know what I mean? We need to start discussing the Save Act and all this other stuff going on. I think for right now, Nolan Wales, maybe he has ran his course until he give us some more information. You say they pushing against y'all. They've been taught the divine feminine out of everything. They've been taught the divine feminine out of everything, man. I got to get back out there this week and get the water to these thirsty people. I just been brainstorming, trying to think of something that I can add to it. Well, where I'm going at this time is I'm gonna have to do a recon when I go out there with the water. But on the other side, I'll say anything that like people that are on drugs require. You know what I mean? Or that would I mean. But we about to wrap this up, y'all. Smash that like. Shout out everybody that came. Throwing me back in the fruit. And before we go, Sassy Mo says because women are married and they would have to look for their birth certificate and vote. Yup, and that's crazy that they gotta when women vote now they gotta vote with their maiden name. Who I mean, what about people who've been living as I mean their married name for goddamn decades? Fruit get them the vitamins, beans, and rice. That's what it is. If all Christian Jews, Hindu, and Buddhists left the world, the Islamists would be fighting each other. Shit, there's so many religions, and I mean,